The first time I sat across from Dr. Kira Voss, she looked like every therapist in a movie. Sleek blazer, thin-framed glasses, an office full of muted colors and eucalyptus candles that whispered, "You're safe here." But I didn't feel safe. Not with her. Not with Eli, sitting next to me, staring straight ahead like we were on trial. "This is a space for honesty," Dr. Voss said in that practiced, velvet tone, "a place to heal and rebuild." I wanted to believe her. God, I needed to, because Eli and I were falling apart, our relationship bleeding out from 1,000 quiet cuts. He'd been distant for months, cold, always blaming me for being too emotional, too reactive, or too suspicious. I thought therapy might save us. Instead, it became the stage where betrayal was performed so smoothly, I almost applauded. At first, Dr. Voss seemed neutral, thoughtful. She'd listen to Eli vent for 10 minutes straight, then turn to me and ask softly, "And how did that make you feel?" Like I was the villain, that's how. Every session followed the same rhythm. Eli's grievances, my apologies. He'd call me controlling, she'd nod. He'd say I didn't trust him, she'd agree that trust is earned, not demanded, and I'd sit there, shrinking. One evening, after a particularly tense session, I asked her a question I'd been too nervous to voice before. "Do you ever feel like you're taking sides?" She smiled, that therapist smile that means I'm dodging your question gracefully. I'm only reflecting what I see. Sometimes discomfort helps us grow. I wanted to believe that, but something about the way she said us, the softness in it, made my skin prickle. Weeks passed. Our healing sessions left me more broken each time. Until one night, after another argument with Eli, I opened his laptop while he was in the shower. I wasn't proud of it, but I was desperate. And there, in his email drafts, I saw her name, Kira. Not Dr. Voss, not therapist, just Kira. The subject line read, "You still make it hard to stay professional." My stomach turned. I clicked. The message wasn't sent, just saved as a draft. But it was enough. You know how I felt back then. Seeing you again, it's complicated. She doesn't get me the way you always did. I froze. Back then, my pulse quickened. I typed Kira Voss College into the search bar, and there it was, like a knife waiting for my hand. A photo of them together, her and Eli, smiling, younger, holding red plastic cups at some college party. Exes. My therapist was his ex, and she hadn't said a damn word. The next session, I didn't say anything. I sat there, quiet, letting her and Eli perform their little duet, his voice cracking just enough to sound vulnerable, hers nodding in empathy. But I wasn't listening anymore. I was studying them. The way her eyes lingered a moment too long. The subtle warmth when she said his name. "Eli, you've made such progress," she said, smiling. "You're learning to express yourself without aggression." "Yeah," he said, glancing at her like a schoolboy with a crush. "I guess I've had a good teacher." That's when I knew. This wasn't therapy. It was rehearsal. For the next few days, I didn't confront him. I needed proof, something undeniable. I bought a miniature recording device, the kind journalists use for interviews, tucked it into my handbag. The next session, I hit record. "Ready to begin?" Dr. Voss asked. Eli smirked. Always. I stayed mostly quiet, letting them talk, letting her expose herself word by word, until finally, after the session ended and I pretended to step out early to take a call, I left my bag behind, recording still running. When I came back 20 minutes later, they were laughing, too comfortably. I apologized for interrupting, grabbed my purse, and left. That night, I listened to the recording. My hands shook as I pressed play. "Eli, you think she suspects?" "Kira, not yet, but if she does, I'll handle it. I know how she thinks. She wants to be the victim. Eli, God, you always saw right through me. I missed this. Kira, focus on your growth, Eli. We can't risk anything until this is over. Pause. Soft laugh. Eli, you're still dangerous. Kira, you used to like that. Silence. Then a faint sound, the unmistakable wet sound of a kiss. My heart dropped into my stomach. I didn't sleep that night. My brain was an endless reel of every time I'd cried in front of her, every moment I'd let her guide me through my pain while she was helping him twist the knife deeper. By morning, my grief had burned into something sharper, focus. They'd both underestimated me, and that was their first mistake. I started researching therapist ethics violations, case after case of revoked licenses for inappropriate relationships. Every site said the same thing. If you have proof, the licensing board will investigate. I had proof, but I wanted to make it airtight, so I scheduled one more session, my final performance. When we walked in, she smiled like nothing had changed. "Before we start," I said softly, "I just want to say thank you." Her brows lifted. For what? For helping me see things clearly. She smiled, unaware of the storm brewing. That's what I'm here for. Eli reached for my hand like we were some happy couple, but I pulled away gently. "Actually," I said, turning to her, "I think I've finally realized what's been wrong all along." She tilted her head. "And what's that?" "You." Her expression cracked, just a little. "I'm not sure what you mean." I pulled my phone from my purse, scrolled, and hit play. Her voice filled the room. "Not yet, but if she does, I'll handle it." Her face went pale. "You used to like that." Eli shot up. "What the hell is that?" "Oh, don't act shocked," I said. "That's you. That's both of you. After I left last session." Kira's lips trembled. "You recorded? That's illegal without consent." "Actually," I said calmly, "in this state, one-party consent applies, meaning as long as I knew it was recording, it's legal." She blinked rapidly, panic flooding her carefully controlled face. "Avery, listen." "No," I said, standing. "You listen. You used my trauma as your playground. You violated your oath, your profession, and my trust." Eli started to speak, but I cut him off with a single look. "Don't bother," I said coldly. "You lied to me, and she manipulated me. You deserve each other." Then I smiled, the same calm, quiet smile she'd once used to dismiss me. I already sent everything to the licensing board. The audio, the emails, the receipts. And since you're technically a mandated reporter, Kira, your failure to disclose your prior relationship violates Section 7 of the Ethical Code. Her breath hitched. She knew I was right. 3 weeks later, I got a letter in the mail, formal, stamped. The Board of Behavioral Health has initiated an investigation into Dr. Kira Voss for professional misconduct. A week after that, her license was suspended pending review. Local gossip spread fast. Therapy offices are small communities. Her reputation? Gone. Eli tried calling me once, then again, then a third time from a blocked number. I never answered. Months passed. I started therapy again, with a real professional this time. Someone who didn't smile like a liar. Someone who didn't know Eli. It wasn't easy rebuilding trust, but for the first time, healing felt real. And peace, the kind that doesn't depend on anyone else's validation, began to take root. One night, I walked by a cafe downtown and saw Eli sitting alone, nursing a drink. He looked up and saw me. For a split second, guilt flickered across his face, or maybe just shame at being seen. I didn't stop, didn't glare, didn't smile. I just walked past, light as air, because some victories aren't about applause. They're about silence, the kind that follows when justice has already spoken for you. Still, sometimes I think about that last session. Her face when she heard her own voice echo back at her. How power flipped in an instant. And I remember what she told me that first day. This is a space for honesty. Turns out, she was right. It just wasn't hers. Now, every time someone mentions therapy, I smile. Not because I hate it, but because I learned something powerful through it. People can twist even the most sacred spaces into lies. But when you bring truth into the room, it doesn't just set you free, it burns every mask in sight.
You've just stepped into her revenge side, where every wound finds its justice, and every silence ends with truth. If her story struck a chord, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps these stories alive. Another secret waits in the next video. See how her revenge begins.